Sergeant John Kriesel began this December 2nd like he has a dozen times before, by sharing the events that happened in Iraq on December 2nd, 2006.
The worst day of my life, but a day that has shaped the rest of my life in a positive way, I would say. We were on a foot patrol in the morning to check out an intersection.
Sergeant Kriesel volunteered that day with 4 others to look for bombs being planted in the Fallujah roadways.
I remember calling in checkpoint 31, checkpoint 32, and as I called in checkpoint 33 on the radio, we had around a 90-degree turn to the south. And as we turned the corner, our left front tire hit a pressure plate that set off 200 pounds of homemade explosives directly underneath our vehicle. I remember this metallic clank that went off. I remember waking up on the ground, but I hadn't yet opened my eyes, so I heard rocks falling. It sounded like a hailstorm, and I looked down and saw my bone sticking out of my left leg. My right leg, I could hear the blood hitting the sand. So I was convinced that I was going to die that day.
It would be close. Sergeant Kriesel lost both of his legs. 2 of the men he set out with,
Corey Risted from Red Lake Falls, Minnesota, Brian McDonough from Maplewood, Minnesota, both died in the blast.
Kriesel survived.
That's how it became a live day?
That's how it became a live day.
It is a day of extremes. Life and loss of life come at him hard and fast on this one day.
Celebration is probably not the right word to use, but it's more of an observation of the day that I wasn't supposed to survive. Obviously a lot of guilt, because I'll never know why I survived and why Tim survived and why Bruce did and why Corey and Brian didn't. I mean, it becomes a roll of the dice, but I've just made sure to not waste it.
Waste it he didn't. He works tirelessly to this day for veterans he has served in our state legislature. He shares this story tonight, here, online, on the stage as a motivational speaker, and on the page as the author of his memoir, Still Standing, to draw a line in the sands of that day, showing how close the difference between life and death can be.
I get to live a great life, raise a baby girl. It's the life I never could have dreamed of having, and I get to live it. But then on the flip side of it, 2 of my best friends, 2 families that I'm close with, this day is totally different for them. They're mourning the loss of 2 wonderful human beings that gave their lives for us that day.
Sense can't always get made, but honoring his friends can, which is why every December 2nd, Sergeant John Kriesel will tell the story of a live day.
I'll never forget laying there and thinking, this is it, I'm going to die. And I never want to forget that, because it keeps me grounded, and it really forces me to appreciate every day on this planet.
It's that appreciation piece. That's part of the reason Sergeant Kriesel still tells the story to this day. You might have saw it on his Twitter page or heard it on K-Fan. He's on the Power Trip show. You might have read about it in Still Standing, but it bears repeating to remind us that this life is precious and that there are those who are no longer with us who made the ultimate sacrifice. I thank you, Sergeant Kriesel.